Hello, my name is Kristen and I will be discussing a critical reflection on child development. I will discuss three main development domains, which are the physical, social-emotional, cognitive, and language. I am focusing on the three age groups of children, which are the infancy, 0 to 2, early childhood, 2 to 6, and middle childhood, 6 to 12. Each development will outline a theory and diversity. Physical development and diversity. Infancy. The key milestones are rapid development, weight increase, increasing the tendency to squirm first, then roll, crawl, etc. Expanding capacity to facilitate vision with little hand muscles. In early childhood, the key milestones are holding art tools, running, jumping, and skipping with ease, throwing, catching, and kicking a ball. In middle childhood, hormones and genetics, self-conscious about appearances, taking risk. Diversity. It's important to educate children to appreciate diversity, which means understanding that we exist in a society where ethnicities, backgrounds, views, physical attributes, emotions, ideals, and behaviors of all sorts are present. This will foster a recognition of human differences and helps to build bonds to create more inclusive societies, as well as inculcate that it is okay to be different and respect those who think differently compared to ourselves. Anna and Giselle believe that psychological mechanisms should evolve in the same way as a child's physical body in a defined sequence. The maturational development, it is observed and recorded on patterns in the development of youngsters, demonstrating that all children go through similar and repetitive phases. Each child runs at their own rate or pace through phases, starting from embryo then continuing after birth. When a person moves at their own speed through these levels, the process remains unchanged. Growth can be described as helical curve according to Giselle, through a spiral process that covers the time it takes to go through 6 phases or intervals of half years. In the early childhood stages, the time to complete a cycle of the 6 stages is very fast and slows down with age. Giselle's developmental processes are categorized into 6 well-defined periods that are replicated during life. For example, smooth, breaking up, sorting out, inwardizing, expansion, and neurotic fitting together. Diversity. While Giselle conceived this theory of maturation to be a generic term for human development, his work concentrated on socioeconomic rank in the middle class. There is no definition of variability incorporated into the framework, and there could be overemphasis on maturation and underemphasis on the external factors that may impact a child's processes. Giselle was one of the first to suggest children have innate intellect that enables them to contrast their own agenda and world consciousness. Research studies indicate Giselle may have undervalued the innate intellect. Yet when assessing a child's development, many specialists base their decision on a series of standards that Giselle built from his theory of maturation. Those more advanced, should they be held back? Those fallen behind, should they be encouraged to work harder? Social-emotional development. Infancy. Attachment habits. Children at this age seek attention from caregivers, such as when hurt, hungry, or afraid. The feelings. A range of ways to express, such as crying, smiling, laughing, hand gestures, etc. Understanding of certain people have specific interests, ambitions, and expectations than one's own. Skills. Soothes oneself by sucking, hugging beloved covers. Early childhood. Emotions and thoughts, such as joy, sorrow, anxiety, rage, disgust. Awareness. Capacity to consider certain viewpoints, either one's own or others. Labeling, such as pride, guilt, and embarrassment. Middle childhood. Family, such as siblings, parents, aunties, and uncles. Non-family, friends, teachers, and neighbors. Control emotions, such as laughing, anger, anxiety. Stereotypes, discriminating skin color, genders, and backgrounds. Diversity. There is a clear link between emotional and social growth, and emotional development can influence the social interactions of the infant, and vice versa. Many individuals may play a role within the social growth of the child, separate from the families in whom children establish a bond with. The key aspects of social and emotional well-being in children are to have a good sense of identity and willingness to get along with others. It requires the ability to empathize with a diverse variety of individuals and react cautiously and with sensitivity. Empathy is an important aspect of human learning, and fostering children's empathy can help them not only establish relationships with others, but also consider and control their own thoughts and emotions. Kohlberg expanded Piaget's philosophy of 2 stages of moral development, suggesting that moral growth is a lifetime continuous process. His philosophy outlines 6 phases with 3 distinct layers of moral progress. Moral development. Pre-conventional. People are following the rules as a set and absolute. It is necessary to follow guidelines as it is a way of escaping punishment. Conventional. This stage is directed towards the maintenance of social order. The emphasis is on upholding law and order by observing the laws, doing one's obligation, and obeying authority. Post-conventional. The ideas of civil contact and individual rights allow people to compensate for other people's variations in preferences, views, and convictions in the next stage. Requirements of law are essential to the survival of society, but certain principles should be agreed upon by these standards, basic ethical concepts, and logical reasoning. Diversity. The theory is culturally biased, that is, considering a collection of cultural norms in one society without sufficient thought as to whether or even if the same norms can be applied successfully to a different community. Kohlberg's theory borrows extensively from Western traditional normative ideologies, such as universal rights and entitlements, without a simple description of how the philosophy should be extended to non-Western societies. Cognitive language development. Infancy. Within the first year, substantial changes in visual acuity. 1 to 2 months, imitation of vowel sounds, such as cooing. 6 months, consonant vowel syllabus, such as babbling. 8 months, comprehension of certain common phrases. 12 months, single words. 18 months, 2-word pairs. 2 years, gradual growth in vocabulary. In early childhood, there is short attention span, vocabulary and grammar, such as short sentences. Difficulties in pronouncing certain phonemes and mixtures, such as r, th, the sp, etc. Middle childhood, able to recognize the information and consider whether it is relevant or not relevant. Thinking, the willingness to learn things that are not physically there. The involvement of replacing a sign for object or idea. Abstract reasoning is a collection of daily habits. Diversity. Motivating diverse learners is not the same for each age group. It is crucial for teachers to consider the variation in maturity between specific children who are diverse and non-diverse students, so that encouragement strategies that they are using are suitable for age. At a younger age, some cultures prioritize cognitive development, and so these children are sometimes more cognitively developed than westernized youngsters. Language diversity growth can extend to ESL students in terms of their language acquisition skills. Children who are exposed to 2 or 3 languages at a young age are often more receptive to language skills, such as receptiveness and expressiveness. Sometimes ESL learners fail with their language acquisition development, as they juggle 2 languages and cultures. This may cause issues of over-regular and have syntax and logical problems. Piaget's philosophy was based on children's experiences, particularly while they were playing. He found after examining the effects of an intelligence test that children have qualitative specific or different response than older children. This does not indicate that young children are dumber than older, but rather children reacted differently because they felt differently about issues. Such findings confirm his understanding of qualitative and quantitative disparities in thought between young and older children. The belief that children are born with simple intellectual framework that provides the basis for future understanding and learning. He observed a progress as a systematic reconstruction of these intellectual processes. This came as a result of biological maturation and environmental awareness. There are 4 stages of cognitive development, which are sensory motor 0 to 2, pre-operational 2 to 7, concrete operational 7 to 11, and formal operations 11 and older. Diversity. Work by Piaget was not accurate, and it was formed from a biased point, such as he researched only his children and only researched from high socioeconomic class. Piaget underestimated children's abilities because most can possess ability at a younger age than he thought. Some can see other viewpoints, not egocentric ones, and some belong in more than one level. As we have seen, many of the theories we accept are lacking in current attitudes and ideas about the importance of diversity to us as educators. Children develop in stages we can identify, but we must be ready to adapt as required to ensure we provide the best outcomes across a wide spectrum of needs. Viewing these theories through a diversity lens will help us to provide the best outcomes possible.